Okay. On the bench is this little Jcpenney Penncrest portable machine. And you may have noticed it looks an awful lot like an Elna Lotus, the way that these doors flip open. And like this section of body, I believe this is almost the same dimensions as an Elna Lotus. However, it is a front load class 15 in here. So this machine, it even has an adorable Lotus style foot here. Yeah, so this machine is in for a tune-up. Let's see now. That needle is bent, and it's stuck here, so we'll start by pulling our bobbin case out. And out fell a 66 bobbin, so we'll have to replace that bobbin. And I'm feeling the hook here, and the hook is a little rough, so polish that. And now it's still locked up here, so we'll have to. Alright, it does turn with the clutch out, so at least there's that. We'll find out what is inside here that's causing issues. And apparently, despite the fact it was a real big year for cicadas last year, it must be exactly cicada season right now. So unlike the Lotus, the Jcpenney here has a true screw lid. It doesn't have that flip top with any of the storage or anything in the top. And that is a very nice thin little, it's got a pop-up, the tensioner for winding bobbins pops up and goes down for storage. Alright. Buttonhole dial seems to be working. And having moved the buttonhole dial, it is now turning again. So the buttonhole mechanism must be sticky. Alright. Well, alright, and the tensioner is not looking dirty in there, so this is very cute that it's built into the Elna Lotus style form factor, and it's just a plain class 15 machine. That does mean, however, that I need to take a second to turn this take the 2 screws out of the end here to pop the covers off. And just like with the Lotus, as we're taking these covers off, we need to be extremely cautious not to lose any of the little washers and pins that hold these hinges are made out of. So right. Oh, lovely little diagram on there. And then here's the back one. Okay. Oh, interesting. There appears to be a single plastic clear washer on each of these panels and on one end. So there. Although I guess this cover arrangement removal didn't get me the way the Supermatic got access in the end. This is cast on, so although this end door does open, let's gently lay this on. Ah, okay. It's got a simple screw holding this plastic bottom on. Alright. And that looks like a brother motor set up with this long drive pulley extension. And this belt is horribly, horribly cracked. So definitely going to have to take the belt out and find a replacement belt. So we're also oil dripping around this cover here, so I'm going to pop this cover off and look to see if there's grease in here. These screws are definitely covered in gummy old grease, so at minimum I'm going to have to run those through the sonic cleaner to degoo them. And I can only imagine yeah, there wasn't much grease in here and it's completely knackered, but this nylon drive gear doesn't seem to have a crack in it, and it doesn't seem to have missing teeth, so that's good. We'll just alright, I'm going to scrape this grease off and get some fresh grease in there. Alright, having cleaned the old grease out of that box, cleaned the cover and everything, it's time to, I put the cover back on and take a quick minute to clean our feed dogs out here, because those have plenty of fuzz jammed between them. And then let's Apparently this is the model P2. I guess the P1 might be the earlier version of this machine. So I think Jcpenney sold these for a few years. I do love all the flower designs on it. Very 70s. So how does... okay. Looking at the motor brackets, and there's giant flathead screw here, and then a pair of giant flathead screws in there that I'm gonna have to... Alright. These two screws here are the other two screws that hold the motor in place to tension the belt, so I'm gonna use my little right angle ratchet here, because while there are some pass-through for a long screwdriver, there are pass-through holes for a long screwdriver to reach behind this bracket, but then you have to take the bracket off and move all this wiring. So, in fact, I can get in it with my right angle ratchet and push the motor up and then pop the belt off. And there's a large spacer on that, and it looks like the bobbin winder tire is a square cut style, so I'm gonna have to... It doesn't feel like it's got a flat on it though, so we'll put a dab of oil on the winder and let that soak in and free up everything, because those square tires are hard to get at. And aha! There's also a thread wound on this winder. There, without the thread on there, it winds much better. You'll notice I turn this winder backwards. I get in the habit of doing that because when you turn your winders backwards, it works thread backwards out of the winder, so you can catch that and remove it as you need to. But there, that winder is spinning much better now. Alright. That is a long belt, but you can see big cracks in it, so So also a couple thin spots on it. So I'm going to go looking for a replacement belt.